Redlands, and Yucaipa. Call in the 909 area 222-9293 for introductory pricing. That's 909-222-9293 for digital network advertising. One last time, digital network advertising, 909-222-9293.
This is Dick from Carpet Masters. Carpet Masters has been serving the Inland Empire for over 60 years. We are locally owned and operated by the Stevens family. We not only clean carpet and furniture, we clean many loose rugs, including Oriental rugs. Oriental rugs are cleaned in our modern facility where the fringes are cleaned by hand, then hung in our modern facility to dry. We do not use steam cleaning to clean your fine furniture. Furniture is cleaned by hand using the same absorption cleaning used in the White House. Some furniture we bring into our plant to clean properly. We normally use 2 men on each cleaning job using the extraction method. There is nothing that would clean carpet better for our customers. Our job is to clean properly with quality first. Google Carpet Masters San Bernardino and give us a call, or go to carpetmasterssocal.com.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
Greetings. It is time for Empire Talks Back. I am Wallace Allen, on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. Well, folks, you're being entertained and distracted with lots of news and information about people taking care of themselves, misusing others. We have people making reports years after things occurred. We have people who are willing to witness years after things have occurred. I need you to step up now. This waiting, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm moving through my life. I expect you to be moving through yours. Racism is a conversation. We need to talk about what's going on between races. We need to talk about what's going on with how you feel about other people. We need to talk about how we are watching things take place that we know are wrong and we still submit to them. We have a situation where we have an election coming in the state of Alabama, and people are asking the candidate to step down because of things that he's been accused of doing wrong. If people believe that he's done these things wrong, why would they worry about him stepping down? If he's done something wrong, don't vote for him. Oh, that's the problem, isn't it? That you're willing to vote for people that you say you don't agree with, that you say are against the principles and morals of the lifestyle that our country promises, the lifestyle, the guarantees that are during this Veterans Day weekend that our veterans, your uncles, some of your fathers, your brothers, have died for. But we're going to ignore that. We're going to say it's okay for the President of the United States to grab women by the genitals. And then we're going to vote for him. And it's okay for a man too old to look to want to grab. Now, we want to blame those people, don't we? No. It's you and I who have to vote, and we vote every day with who we support and who we don't support. And folks, I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy all the time. You're setting yourself up for a great big decision. All of us at some point, we talk about we're going to meet our maker. Yeah, you're going to meet your maker. And when you meet your maker, are you going to be proud of who you are? Listen, my whole point is that I know a man who lived a lie. Now he's afraid to die. You see, he cheated his friends for the sake of a dime. He felt no pain at all. But the devil has come to claim his soul. Now he feels so small. But there's no place to run, no place to hide, because the devil is on his trail. No place to turn to ask a friend for the kind word that could pay his bail. Oh, it's a doggone shame, and it's too damn bad. I feel like I'm going to cry. A friend of mine traded his soul for gold, and now he's afraid to die. Now, you just might be confronted one day with a choice that's hard to make. But if it's a choice of your soul for gold, I hope it's one that you'll be careful to make. Because if you sell your soul for gold, my friend, don't do that. Don't ever sell your soul for gold, my friend, because the price will never be right enough for you to cast away your soul to endless night. No, it's time, people. It's time for us to understand that the decisions we make, the movements we make have consequences. They have rewards, and they have consequences. I hope that we move toward making our life rewarding by doing the kinds of things that we'll be proud of when it's time to meet your maker. Some folks don't even believe in that. But that's okay. You are here. And being here means that we have some responsibilities in terms of what we do, how we treat people, and how we expect people to treat us. So I say, give love, be conscious. Think about doing things that are going to be beneficial to not just you in the short term, but beneficial to you and the world in the long term. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. Hopefully today's show will help us all feel better about life and be more enthused about helping someone other than ourselves, and look forward to tomorrow, because we know that we can do something to make the world a better place. We'll be right back after this break. I've got some wonderful guests for you today, some people that are doing good things and conscious about it. We'll see you in just about a minute. We'll be right back.
I'm young, active, and in the best shape of my life. But I still know life can change in an instant, and when it does, I want to be prepared. That's why I have a healthcare plan through Cover California, to cover life's unexpected moments. And having a plan that includes preventive care just makes sense. That means I don't pay extra for services like annual checkups, flu shots, and diabetes screenings. I like that.
Covered California. It's more than just healthcare. It's life care. Visit coveredca.com to enroll or find free expert help. Enroll by December 15th.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Greetings. I'm here learning how to pronounce the name Makeda Kumasi. Makeda Kumasi.
Yes.
Makeda Kumasi.
Yes.
Makeda Kumasi.
That's right.
Makeda Kumasi.
Get it in your soul.
Makeda Mukase. There, we got it now. Now, Miss Makeda Kumasi, how are you?
I'm blessed.
This
Thank
is Empire
you.
Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. Don't you guys forgive me for not introducing myself. On the far end there, Miss Tammy Martin Riles, riling things up. She's brought Miss
Makeda
Kumasi to the show today, and I'm going to let Miss Tammy talk about Miss Makeda Kumasi. And while I sit here and sing her name,
he's gonna mess it up, even though he'll say it 30 times. But you gotta forgive him, because that's the love of Wallace.
That's all right. I have forgiveness in my heart every day.
Now, see, this is. I'm encouraged because, see, this is what it's all about. We need to be able to understand that people are not obligated to be in agreement with us, and we certainly are not able to completely see a person enough to determine whether they are perfect or flawed just a little bit, or is our angle flawed? Because we can't see everything all at one time. You know, we all need each other to complete the vision, and that's why
I have friends, I have people that have known me for years. I would even say decades. That still call me Makita. Y'all know who you are out
probably
there,
one of them is your mother, who named you something different, and she was wondering why you went that way.
I ain't gonna tell you my government name, but she called me Makita. You know, if you gonna pay me, we could talk.
Listen,
we could talk what's on my ID.
I was
but
there.
Google Makita Kumasi, you'll find it.
When they actually argued about Muhammad Ali's right to name himself, and he done whooped everybody in the world.
Well,
huh? And, you know, so, you know, when I hear people say, and I heard then people say,
what's my name?
no, your name, I'm going to call you what, I'm going to call you what I want. Well, you're going to get this kind of left hook upside your head, too.
What's my name?
Okay, because he did, Makeda, he did say that, didn't he? He'd beat him down and say, now, what's my name? What's my name?
Yes,
And I guess he'd hold him up. And I'm willing to make stuff up for history, but you'll know that I'm exaggerating, because that's one of the things my mother's family taught me. Say you can tell all the big stories you want to, but if we catch you lying, you might be close to dying.
Well,
huh?
Yes.
So when you tell a story that is a little exaggerated, be sure that it's got enough exaggeration that people don't think that you.
Well, I'm a storyteller. I'm gonna tell you
news,
a story.
You know, that's
I'm gonna keep it real, though. I'm a spoken word artist, so I tell them about the streets and what's going on. But I ain't gonna sugarcoat it neither.
Yeah, well, let me tell you a little bit about Miss Makeda Kumasi.
Okay, what you know?
Now, see, I met this woman probably about 5 years ago.
Might have been longer than that.
And let me tell you, when I met her, she was defending Ancient Mama. Yes, she was.
Well, wait a minute.
Miss Mary McLeod Bethune. Yes, she was.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Who was attacking Aunt your mama?
Everybody.
Shut up! I wasn't
Everybody
there.
wanted that woman to flip pancakes for
Y'all don't
nothing
remember.
and work on that. What type of contract?
The Last Emancipation.
The Last Emancipation.
Big show. Everybody sold out. I was playing Mary McLeod Bethune. I was church lady number two,
See
and
what
I
I'm
was
saying?
dancing all in the same show.
She did all that.
So all of the point of supporting and so tell us about. I mean, I didn't mean to break in like this, but I kind of have to. Tell us about Angie Mama. This is a lady whose picture was on the. Well, no, because what we're talking about, we're talking about the same thing over and over. We're talking about people with power taking advantage of folks in situations that they. Our president,
and that's what it was.
President just this weekend went to China and told China, he said, "I don't blame you guys for taking advantage of us, and we should be able to take it." No, wait a minute. Take advantage of? I'm sorry. You just get to hearing people say dumb stuff and get to nodding your head and agreeing with it. And you really need to be careful about that. This is what I'm talking about from the beginning. You cannot support the president running around saying it's okay to grab women by the genitals, and then you want to say, well, no, this guy down here in Alabama shouldn't have touched the girl when she was 14. Well, no, he didn't touch her. He was trying to be like Mary and Joseph. Come the heck on. Joseph and Mary wasn't having sex, according to y'all's story. What's the deal?
Well,
I cannot. If you can't get upset about something, it's a setup.
Yeah.
And you and I don't know. Maybe I'm closer to it than somebody else, but we should all be concerned. I think about the exit.
Purpose. That is absolutely my purpose.
So talk to me,
about
Ms.
Aunt
Makita.
Jemima, but we are really trying to talk about creating positive images of ourselves
and
moving forward as African American, as people of color, as Americans in general. You know, we have to be positive people, and we have to look at ourselves in a positive light. And so I'm working in the community, bringing programs to the youth and to the community and to families to help us address some of this this negative imagery that we've had and some of this hurtful socialization that has occurred over centuries.
You know, I watch some things on TV. And I'm able to watch, some white people act really, really, really stupid and silly on TV and laugh at it. But I can watch black folks act stupid and silly on TV, and it ain't funny to me. And I don't know. It's like, to me, I'm saying the situation is different. If the situation weren't different, why do we have the problems that we have? If black folks don't have a different mission, a more important a road to walk than the one that's being delivered to them, why are we having a problem?
Well, a lot of times the easier way is to do what's going to get you paid.
Oh,
So if you if you know our history, minstrel shows and blackface and chucking and jiving, then that's what has given us the light and given us the money.
That's a choice that people have made.
That's what I agree with.
All of that great ironwork that Africans brought to America, that makes money.
Well,
okay, if you decide to be funny, do you have to, and we'll get to talk to some people, when you decide to be funny, are you going to talk about things that are treacherous to your community and laugh at those because other folks have done enough of that treachery? And I know that you're not. That's why, because you know what you said? You said, I want to make the image better. That's because
I am making the image
that's
better.
because somebody is working just as hard to destroy the image and hold it back.
It's
and
true.
so what is the responsibility of artists? What is the responsibility of us as people and what we support on TV?
I think we know the responsibility, but sometimes it's a lot easier just to play the other role and the positive role. And positivity, you could still have fun and be positive. I know a lot of conscious comedians and
that
positive
suggests that
comedians out there.
there's a sacrifice that we're making in order to be more correct.
Exactly. But you have to make the sacrifice.
I say investment.
Our
if it's gonna make you better,
for us.
If it's gonna make you better, that sacrifice ultimately becomes an investment. Then
it is,
and the return on the investment. Okay, so our grandparents did some things to make it better for us. So what are we doing about it? Why are you still having to battle so hard for our hearts and minds? And keep up the battle, keep up the fight. Don't be scared.
We have so much negative media. We have a president which is misdirected and misguided. And so, our leadership, if our leadership ain't right and our youth are looking at the leadership like they don't care, then you have to battle against that. So you're hitting against the grain, you're pounding against the grain, try to feed them some nourishing substance food, and they want to just keep eating the junk food.
Sammy, we got over to veganism just like that, didn't we?
But I think I'm talking to a sister because I think she's vegan too. So
but the truth is that what's good for us, we tend to say, well, if it's good for us, I can go eat some of that after I eat this poison, and the good for me will take the poison out.
Oh no, they'll fight you on that good stuff. No.
But see,
it's the same thing.
They'll eat it
fight
first,
me
and
while
then
you nourished on poison.
Get a chicken bone.
If your nourishment is poison, any kind of fight you're going to be in is going to be a losing fight.
Yes.
And so the fact that we are willing to eat poison, know we're in a battle, know that we have a problem and a situation, but we say, well, I'm going to start that new diet tomorrow.
But
I'm going to start paying attention. I'm going to read my book. I'm going to read my book tomorrow. Oh, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to get up and I'm going to really get out here and I'm going to pay attention to life.
It's a mental process, and I think it does start with food. And, I know because I think when the inside of your body is right and you've cleansed it out, you're able to think clear, and then you're able to do better, because there is a reason why, let plant be thy medicine, and let that solve your problems instead of you trying to solve out here and you ingesting and bringing things in that are not right.
We want Band-Aids. We want the quick treatment. I mean, we'd rather go get some Pepto-Bismol than stop eating what it is given in the ulcer in the first place. So we know that we're working with, pharmaceutical society where that's
the drug dealer.
Yeah, we want the Band-Aid. If it's legal drugs or not, you're not fixing the problem. You just putting a Band-Aid on it and cover up the pus and the sore.
Where are you able to do your work, to do your art? How is that going in terms of how people receive you and how you see the need to do your wordology?
Thank you. Yes. Well, fortunately, I have been able to get grants from the Fine Arts Commission in San Bernardino in order to further my mission and further my work in teaching ancient arts, the ancient art of the Sesh. I'm going back to Kemet, and that's the Sesh was the scribe that would write down and tell all the historical facts and information and stories of the community. And I'm linking it with the classical Jali of West Africa. and really where a lot of our roots, African American ancestors, came from. And so I share West African dance. I'm a teacher at UC Riverside. And again, fortunately, I was able to get some grant, some funding to bring this program, bring the SESH project directly to the community of San Bernardino in the Inland Empire. And I'm working with the Acoma Center, the Acoma Unity Center. That's right. Shout out over there. Right now they're at the Ann Sherrill's Community Center.
In San Bernardino.
And we have, and we have partnered with the New Hope Family Life Center. So I actually have a school right now, a Saturday school. We met yesterday. Actually, we're taking a week off on the 18th, but we will be meeting the weekend that we have Thanksgiving.
Well, you don't have to eat it if you don't want to.
Go ahead.
So come on ahead and get some nourishment after you fill up on that turkey. But yes, we will be meeting that Saturday.
So the Saturday school.
It's a Saturday school, the Kumasi School for the Performing Arts. We meet from 2 to 6. We have a writing class where you can come and develop your personal narrative.
Who is this class for? Age group, people
this
who...
is actually, we'll focus mainly on the youth. I'm looking for more of our high school students to come through because I think that they really have a voice and they need just some nourishment and some encouragement. But also just community. You could bring your youth. I actually have my young ones coming, and my youngest is 9 and my oldest is 15. And we take it, at a general level for those that are more skilled can develop what they already know and work on maybe some things that they already have.
Give us an idea of what a Saturday may look like. Yesterday was your first
Saturday.
one.
Okay, so one Saturday we worked on a bop. A bop is an African American poem structure, and we worked on creating a bop. And in our writing class, and then we have acting that starts at 3 o'clock, 3 to 3:30.
3 to y'all get
3 to
finished
4:30. Excuse me. It's an hour and a half. And that same day we worked on memorization techniques. So I had some monologues that everybody had chosen which one they wanted, and then I gave them certain skills that they can use for memorization. And the particular skill that we practiced that day was actually writing out and saying the monologue. So you're looking at it, you're reading it, you're using different tactile, and different modes of.
How much are we
learning.
charging for that class?
It's free.
Very good. Okay, so
Absolutely
let's
free.
say it again. The fact is that you have now created a performing arts school, and it's open to our general public. And that program is every Saturday.
Every Saturday, writing, acting, and West African dance.
And that takes place at the New Hope Family Life Center. What is that, 55? No, what's the address?
1505.
1505
West Highland Avenue.
Very good.
And right now we've been in room 13, so you can.
Well, you
come
get
in
it going
and
on. We'll be all up and down the hallways.
Come on,
so
you find us. You'll hear,
problem.
especially with Africa
Yes,
Dance.
yes.
Miss Tammy stepped in on us. So I was like, come on in,
Listen.
sign in on the sign-in sheet. Don't even trip.
I want to bring her to the Black History Expo so you can have your own little section.
Yes.
You know?
Hey, we've done it. I've done it several years. Been involved with many of the projects that Miss Tammy has been involved with, and we look forward to bringing the children out.
Well, I'm looking forward to being able to see, since your class is from 2 to when?
2 to 6 is the total time.
I'm
but
looking
the
at some point, maybe from
class
6 to 8, you'll have a show maybe once a month to demonstrate what they've been learning.
We actually will have a show.
That we'll actually pay for.
Yes, we do need to have a paid show, but we're actually going to have a Kwanzaa festival. It's going to be free December 16th at the Feldenheim Library. So that's going to be free. We're inviting some vendors. I'm inviting some of my group members. I have a dance troupe called the Umoja Ensemble of the Inland Empire, UEIE, and so a couple of people are going to get together.
So we got some exciting things coming up that are in
16th.
the mode of pushing us in the direction that we're talking about.
Look
that
for
being
advertising.
one of sharing information, and since everybody can dance out there, and everybody certainly isn't a wordsmith, this is an opportunity for people to come together and agree to disagree about certain things and how to do them.
Yes.
And we encourage that. Ms. Kamasi, we would like to ask you to stay with us. We'd like to talk with you more in the second part of the show, but we also, as we go into the second phase, we have another guest that we want to bring in and highlight, Mr. Young Music.
Yes.
And I don't know how long he'll be able to use that name, but, I mean, when I first met him 15 years ago, just kidding. You all know how I like to
He'll forever be young.
Yes,
young forever. Be 89 talking about Young Music.
What's up?
Yes.
That we just said that about that senator trying to stay young. I don't know, but we're going to talk about all those things. We're going to talk about what's right and what's wrong and the responsibility that we have. As we go into this break, I want to remind everybody that there is a beautiful play going to be taking place in Rialto at Rialto High School on December 1st and 2nd. It's a play depicting the story about what happened in Northern California in 1944 when a munitions ship blew up. There were black men and white men working on the ship. Some 350 people got killed. Over 250 of those were African American sailors. Over 15% of all of the African Americans in the Navy who died during World War II were killed in that explosion. Somehow, this play, though educational and entertaining, is also got some comedy to it. I don't know how they put it together. I can't wait to see it. But I want you to see it and remember that you can attend that play and support that play. Go to, what is that? Who's that group that invites you to stuff? Yes, you do. It's not Constant. Who's the invite group? Come on, Tammy.
Okay, he done caught me off guard because I'm like, I use every social media thing out there. I can email through Constant Contact.
Evite.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, he got it. Eventbrite. Eventbrite. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm going to give you a phone number next time. Next time we have the break because Tammy's trying to act like she.
Well, no, I did.
This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We'll be here right after this very short break. Thank you.
All right.
Falling down the stairs and breaking your ankle doesn't sound good. But falling down the stairs and breaking your ankle with no health insurance sounds even worse. Life can change in an instant. Be covered when it does. At Covered California, we can help you get financial help to pay for your health plan. Covered California. It's more than just health care. It's life care. Visit coveredca.com today. Enroll by December 15th.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
All right, you can tell we are back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen on the case for truth and justice with the right information and the right guest to help improve the situation.
Got it.
Now that the other music is down, you'll also get a chance to hear, as you've heard throughout the program, Mr. Anthony Garcia, our mood master, the bass player extraordinaire. And thanks, Anthony, for coming out. And I guarantee you that check is going to cash sometime in the next 3 months.
Okay.
Okay? But you keep on doing what you do, brother.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, he thinks you guys are a witness on the deal, and you watch how we handle this because I've been trying not to Trump out, but I can't help sometimes to Trump in. That's why I need you guys to pay attention. If you see me trumping, you need to call somebody. If you see me trumping, you better call somebody. Huh. And let me give you the number to call. Okay. Miss Tammy,
Yes.
we have a guest, Mr. Young Music,
Yes,
who let me know during the break here. He said, my music is young.
Yes.
I don't have to be young to have young music. And he is young, and he reminded me of that, too, that he's definitely younger than I am.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. How you doing, young man?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm
Excellent.
great.
Let Miss Tammy introduce you and tell the world about your.
Go ahead,
You
Tim.
know, by the
great
time I
endeavors.
introduce you, he done already talked to you. He done said everything about your mama, your daddy, everything.
I
So
better not play
I
that.
don't know what I'd be introducing
Don't
sometimes.
blame me for
But
playing
Young
that.
Music has been around for a while. This guy is out there entertaining. I mean, he's doing it all. You know, he's entertaining the kids. He's got a grip on the young society. And I think that if we really just take time and just really plug into him, you know, we can see one of ours out there in Hollywood, around the world out there entertaining. But sometimes we got to get behind our artists.
Well, we have to do
And and support. So he's on the grow. He's going this way. Can y'all see? He's going this way. And I think most importantly, he's captured the eye of the kids. And I think having a great role model who's not, you know, into anything negative, not into drugs, not into doing all this other crazy stuff. He's positive. He's a good father. I mean, I can't say anything else but good things. So,
Yes,
Young
thank you.
Music.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I forgot.
I know that's what I do. I make it.
No.
I hope that was a great introduction.
No, it was a great introduction. And one of the other things that we want to remember is that if I were really on my job, I'd be able to name all of these people. But there are over 50 people in and from the Inland Empire who have earned gold records.
Yes.
This is not a
I know that
desert,
one. Yes.
you know,
But they'll make you forget.
well, you know, when you have so many things to remember, it's easy to forget something that isn't as prominent as those things you remember.
Yes.
I'm protecting us old folk as I say things like that, because I know y'all be trying to say, you know, that's the one thing, my friend, and I'm not, the guy from North Korea, he said that your president is old and what? Anyway, your president turned around and said, well, I didn't call you fat and short.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, and I think they're trying to rap and trying to make it sound like they're rhyming and being, but they are gangsters. They are gangsters. They're gangsters with our lives and stuff like that. And anyway, what are you telling the children that gives them hope? What are you telling the children so that keep their strength and learn how to know the difference between people who are faking and people who are for real? How do we? What's the situation with them when they see adults who are so hypocritical, who are telling them one thing, doing another, and lying about it? What is the future for our children when we have the power to turn them around, but they hopefully have the enthusiasm to keep coming and keep coming straight? And historically it does that. I mean, they're there to rebel. Parents have always been a little slow for parents, and so I should expect that our kids expect us to be a little slow, but the direction that they go in, you know.
I think it's like it's just kind of like nowadays it's just like a big confusion, and that's where kind of like where I come in at and try to, you know, not sugarcoat anything and just give them like the real ins and outs of everything, and still at the same time, you know, let them know to stay focused on what they have to do on the positive end, and just keep going, and you know, don't have any downfalls no matter what situation they're in, or you know, what street or city they live in, or how bad it is, you know. So I mean, I've came from, you know, the hard side of the city, you know, of Compton, and moving around, and I mean, I came out positive, you know what I'm saying? So I just say, you know, stay focused. This is what I say to all the kids, you know, stay focused and positive. You don't have to, you know, do something for somebody to like you, or, you know what I'm saying, or just, you know what I'm saying, just be your own self.
And
don't take in what everybody else is doing.
And I'm saying this, and I'm remembering how rebellious I was.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm remembering how rebellious I was. I remember how inclusive and wide my mother kept her arms, because we couldn't get rebellious enough to get outside of what her love arms demonstrated.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for us in our society to as parents and as grown-ups, however grown-up we are, to not let our kids get outside of the arm that we. If they get outside of it, we need to stretch our arms a little bit more.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Scary.
We're not trying to cut them off from being creative, from being assertive, and from being themselves. Because as they be themselves, that means they're not going to be us.
Exactly.
And it's not easy to let that take place and encourage that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask. At some point, I'm going to ask you and Miss Kamasi to give us a couple of lines from your poetic selves. From you, Young Music, I think I'm looking at what are you telling our kids? What are the things that you are embellishing? What are the things that you are focusing on? What are the things that you're encouraging them to have courage about? And I just think that's important. While you're figuring that part of it out, when is the last time you did a show, and how was it? And who was it for, and how did your audience respond to that?
The last show I did was actually it was 2 days ago at Atlanta High School. It was actually packed. I was doing it last year up there. I was doing like the teaching with my cousin Edwin Johnson. Shout out to Edwin Johnson with the chorus and the youth team. I was doing that, but I actually went in, myself and signed like posters and stuff like that, talked to them, and then, what they say, we turned up in a good way, all clean music. But it was so packed. It was packed, man, and just basically trying to get them out towards a positive,
Do they seem disappointed when they don't hear you ranting and raving and cussing and crazy?
No, because the way I do it is, you just. It's a turn up. It's just turn up. I can't even explain exactly what it is. There's no cussing in it though. It's all positive, but it's still on the same boat as what they listen to outside of everything else. But I think the music that I do put out aside of my other music is a good a role to be in. As far as me doing what I do basically. So it was a good response.
What is one of the strongest reactions or things that you've seen occur with your music, with your presentation, with your involvement with young people that continues to encourage you? Is there something happened long ago, maybe something happened 10 minutes ago? But what is your source of encouragement, your source of inspiration?
I get like a lot of emails and like texts through like the schools, like say after I did that concert, I probably got over like 100 like inboxes or texts or something like that. It's either I'm helping someone or I did something that changed somebody's mind of doing something that they wasn't supposed to do, or basically somebody came up to me and said, I can be myself, it's okay to be myself, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. So
take a little pressure off.
That just keeps me going. That's what keeps me going. And then I have my kids, my 2 kids, so I gotta stay on the positive road with them. So it's kind of like the same thing. It's just like a whole big bunch of my kids. Like I just treat it like that.
Let me ask both of you artists. What occurs? There is the BC and the AC, before children and after children.
Okay.
How do you act? Before you have children, what was your performance like? And how did you make adjustments, if you made any adjustments, after your children were born?
You know what's crazy? I'm like a goofy person, believe it or not. Like, so I was the same way. I think it's just more highly, like I can get loose more now that I have kids. Like I can get away with it because I got kids, I believe. Okay. I get away with it. So, even before I had kids, I was always, I had the high energy. I was the goofy one. I was the one that stood out, didn't care what nobody thought, so I kind of like give that message out to everybody else. Like all my friends like that I grew up and hung around with, they drank, smoked. I'm like the only one right there, like not doing nothing, just, And you get the ones that talk about you, oh, this is an ad art, say their little jokes, but hey, it don't matter.
Okay.
can't say I was not doing nothing, but I feel that I'm the same with my children. I mean, I was doing spoken word in Leimert Park, and they was in my belly. My oldest was in my belly. So even my daughter, there's some pieces that I do that she's grown up listening to, and you'll see her mouthing it, you know, on the side. But I've been teaching and performing West African dance for over 20 years. And my oldest is 15. So I'm steadfast and not changing, and into traditional art, and into, you know, not just traditional, but also utilizing those and moving it forward, and using what we can from the past in a positive manner. I speak to them. I speak to them what's out there. My son, he went to go see Tyler, whoever, you know, and went to the Frog Nog Carnival and all of that. So I listen to what's out there now. I listen to it so that I know what he's into and what they're going, what influences they have in their life. So that's, you know, I got to stay current. As a parent, you got to stay current.
Especially with the music, because now, that music.
Well, when we have our after program, I'll share an incident about a poem that, one of my first ones, and the pride that my daughter had when she went and read it or said it at school.
Yes.
And, well, we can say but when you hear the poem, you'll say I mean, it was deep and real. Deep and real.
If you wrote it and your youth took it and she wanted to do it.
There's a reason why I'm asking how you did your thing before you had children and after children, because I changed tremendously after I had my first child. And I think it says something to me that maybe getting our young men involved in life with a good woman early enough that they can make that commitment to life with life, maybe we get better real quick. Especially our responsibility, our desire to do things right, our desire to be sure that smile, that bright light in our baby's eyes gets to stay there. And I think having and looking at that gives a man a shot for his spine, you know, make him stand up straight a little bit.
I know
I'm
that
a single
parenting
father, so
made me more, you know, it's like hyper.
We're going to have to take this break,
focus,
but when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation, and we're going to get into a little bit about the news of the day and how you're responding to it, and the advice that you may have for people. And I have a caller on the line. We'll get a chance to talk to them too. We'll be right back.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away.
At Covered California, we're not just here to help you get health insurance. We're here to help you get it at a lower cost. 9 out of 10 enrollees qualified for financial help paying for their plan. You may qualify for savings even if you didn't last year. So check for yourself. Or let our experts help you find out how much you could save. Life can change in an instant. Be covered when it does. Covered California. It's more than just health care. It's life care. Visit coveredca.com today. Enroll by December 15th.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
I know
This is Empire Talks Back, and we've been running it this morning. But before we get out of our lane, we want to double check with our legal authority and double check that we're still in play, that we haven't done or said anything that's going to cause us a suit. And I don't mean a men's clothing suit. I mean, some things you say are illegal, some things you're not. I'd like to invite our friend, our attorney, Mr. Attorney Ricky Ivy, one of the founders of Ivy McNeil and Wyatt, a premier African-American law firm throughout the United States. And if you need some support, that's the way to go. Mr. Ricky Ivy, how are you this morning?
Oh, great, Wallace. How are you?
Fine. How are we doing in here? Did we say anything libelous or put ourselves in any kind of trouble this morning so far?
Your show is great. Everything is fine. No issues. Makeda Kumasi.
Thank
right?
you. Yes, that's it. Makeda.
I love it.
See?
You got two people on there doing positive things, all within the bounds of the law.
Very good. Very good. Well, while we're talking about the law, is there anything in particular about the law that you would like for us to absorb this morning?
Wallace, we're still getting back to our legal moments, which we'll be ready hopefully next week, and we'll get back and get engaged in giving your listeners 10 points of things that they should know.
Well, the idea that you are here as we go into the solutionary aspect of the program is important to me. We're talking about ethics. We're talking about morality. We're talking about the food, the nutrition that we give our children, our community to live on. The idea of the hypocrisy that we're working with, Ricky, is very obvious to me. I don't know how obvious it is to other people, but I'm going to say it again. We are in a circumstance where women now are standing and shouting and screaming that men have misused power to sexually abuse, to assume this position of power by holding them down, by suppressing, by pushing women. Sounds like a familiar story. This is something they've done to all men and women who are not white men. We have a situation where politically we submit, and then we want to blame the people that we're submitting to for the fact that we're submitting. We're talking about the so-called evils of Donald Trump for bragging about grabbing women by the genitals. And we're also talking about the fact that we've got a man running for Senate in Alabama who is bragging, his people are bragging about it's okay to, for old men to chase young women, whether they're 14, 16, or 18, because it occurred in the Bible. Rick, I'm suggesting that President Trump, he says what's on his mind. This guy, Moore, and the people who are supporting him, they're saying what's on their mind. We are voting for this. We are endorsing this. Who's wrong here? Who is most responsible? Trump for being Trump, or us for voting Trump in, encouraging him to continue being Trumpish?
You said us.
Well, we say us. I say us because if you didn't vote, no, Ms. Kamasi, because I want, this is the deal. If you didn't vote for him and you didn't vote against him, you ended up voting for him. Yeah. If you said I ain't up to this, it don't bother me, then you're the ones you voted for him, and you have to have some kind of plan for how to act while he's in charge. So I'm going to be quiet now, Mr. Ivy. Get us started in this conversation.
Wallace, what we've learned throughout history is that rights are fought for, they're not given, and to keep the rights, you must continue the fight. When we let down, when we become complacent, we lose those rights. We let those rights become eroded by those who would take them away from us. I think this is just a classic case where the people have not exercised their rights. They've not exercised those rights intelligently or diligently. Consequently, we see some of those rights being eroded. Women have fought for their rights over the years, and they're not there yet. Just like people of color, we're not there yet. We haven't achieved that ultimate goal. We let down. We became complacent. Consequently, we're in a position now where we have some people who don't respect those rights. and you're just sounding the clarion call. That clarion call is that you want those rights and you want to keep them. You have to fight for them. Part of fighting for your rights is exercising your right to vote. That didn't happen sufficiently in this last election. I agree with what you're saying. That's a wise counsel from you and a solid political course.
Ms. Makeda has indicated, as many people do, when we talk about the president, and earlier in the conversation, as I mentioned him, I said your president as though he were not mine. So I know that this is a common feeling, this rejection of what this conduct. But as I said, Ms. Makeda, how do you reconcile that, okay, he is my president, he is the United States president, the world regards him as such. How do you respond to that? What is our responsibility as people? What are you encouraging our artists to do? We still got to move on a local level.
We still got to move on a local level, and even my work is even more important now to reach the youth, to let them know that they are worthy, they're worthful, and they're needed, regardless what the leadership.
Now, as we make this message, there's two things that occur. There are things that others say about us, and then there's things that we say about us. Determining which is more important is a political position. The next thing is, I grew up in the era where where we just started black studies in the colleges. And one of the things that everybody needed black studies because none of us had it.
Right.
But it appeared that the people who had the most influence upon learning black studies were not just black folks, but really white people needed to know it, and upon them learning it, they tended to make more of a move to support it many times than black people. Does that sound familiar to you guys?
It's
familiar.
At all? That's the absolute truth. And actually, if you look at the statistics, I would say that there are more Caucasians that are studying the black and African experience than there are African Americans trying to get the knowledge of our ancestry and our experience in America.
My question goes quickly then to, as you have these classes, your performing arts class, are you making an effort to include people who are not naturally inclined to come? In other words, are you reaching out to non-blacks to come to that class? Or do you see that as an important thing to do?
Actually, if many of the even community classes are visited by non-African Americans, non-black. There's a lot of Asians. I reached out.
Yeah.
The class is open, and I would say
that's not my question. My class isn't that. Is it available? Okay,
yes.
It's not that, because saying that they can come is not the same as say they should come. And I'm just asking, are we, as we look at the conflict that we have, is it important? And I know it's important to reinforce, as Rick said, it's important for us to reinforce the message to ourselves. But at what point does it get critical that we reach out and bring the deniers into what we're talking about?
Yes, you have to have others that are involved, because then it becomes a situation of appreciation and overstanding of another culture. And if others feel a certain negativity towards a culture, then they need to experience that and can expose themselves. So yes, I am open to other cultures. Everybody, every ethnicity needs to come.
But
everybody's African, but I ain't even gonna go back there.
He wants to know, did you invite him? Is that the question?
We are all in a bubble. We all tend to go to places and talk to people who agree with us, and that is not an attitude or process that will really allow us to solve problems. Young Music, as you perform, what does the audience look like to you?
I always have a mixed crowd.
No, mix. Say it. I mean, mix what? I mean,
white, black, Mexican.
Okay. Young, old, young.
Young.
You teaching them?
Yeah,
to perform?
I'm teaching everybody.
I know you are.
I'm teaching everyone.
That's the whole point. That we are teaching at every aspect, and people are absorbing from us at every aspect. And so based on that, I think as artists, you do give yourself a standard of conduct in your message, and it's whether it's the same as when before you had children or after. We do find that many artists change because having that child look up at you, gives you another sense of responsibility.
Yes, it does.
Listen, guys, I want to give you each 10, 15 seconds to close out. Rick, go ahead. Mr. Ivy. Okay, Mr. McKay. We'll get back to you, Rick. McKay, give us your quick
okay.
love statement.
I just want everybody to understand that, you're positive, you're beautiful. Come on out, support the efforts of the Kumasi School for the Performing Arts. Look for us December 16th. You can get my book online, Amazon.com. I See Hip Hop Africa, as well as 12 Days in Senegal, an Artist's Journey.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dang.
Young Music.
Oh my God, Young Music. We in the building still. Shout out to everybody that's here. I got the Stop the Violence, Keep the Peace free concert out in the HD of Adelanto off of Pyramid in Adelanto. We're gonna be giving a lot of gifts, free food. November 18th, Saturday, free to all ages. Starts at 11 to 4 p.m.
That's next Saturday. Okay, very good. Miss Tammy, you haven't spoken a lot, but we know that you're...
I'm always engaged. It's all about the Black Chamber of Commerce, Inland Empire, with the Inland Empire, Empire Talks Back. Tomorrow night, see you there. Ontario, Zendeja, 6:30.
Ricky, you got 15 seconds.
Hey, I just got this to say, Wallace, know your rights and continue to fight. Good message.
Know your rights, continue to fight. God bless you. Thank you, Ricky. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We're here on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. Don't forget Port Chicago 50. That's a wonderful play. We'll talk more about it next week, and we'll be pushing you to get your tickets next week under two circumstances. One, if the good Lord's willing. Two, if the creek don't rise. God bless you. See you then. Thank you. Stay strong.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
On the scoreboard in the NFL, let's check Week 10. The Jacksonville Jaguars used a fake punt to get a touchdown.